I started my first B2B venture at the age of 19. In the first 2 months, I only made 7,000 rupees of sales. I was standing there with a complete failure plan, a complete failure product, with 50 lakh worth of inventory lying at my warehouse. The number one factor that makes or breaks an organization is when I actually thought about what I was getting into. My entire life changed. So my story starts. It was a very normal day at my school when my teacher walks into the class and he asks a question to every kid in the class. What do you want to be when you grow up? And every kid answered with very hyper voices and high-pitched voices. When it came to my turn, I stood up proudly and I said, I want to be a businessman. And suddenly, everybody started laughing in the classroom. I was confused. I was 11, and I was like, why are they laughing at me? Is there booger on my face? Or is my language or the way I look? They're looking at that. Then my teacher walks up to me and says, you're going to be a businesswoman. That was the day when it got stamped to my mind and my heart that I wanted to be a businesswoman. Now, of course, there is a backstory to why I wanted to be a businesswoman, right? Coming from a very low middle class Halwai family, not many people in my family pursued what they wanted to do. And only one person who gave me an opportunity to say that you can aim for much, much more higher things than your reality was my Nanaji. He used to give me all these news clippings telling me about all these women that are making impact on the world. Somehow that connected to a young Natasha that wanted to make it big in her life. So guys, today I'll be talking about my story. My name is Natasha. I am an entrepreneur. I'm a founder of Virjor.com. My entrepreneurial journey started 9 years back. Just like any other young entrepreneur who wants to make it big in her life. With a lot of ideas, a lot of vision with her mind. But little less does she knew that there is so much that she's going to explore. She's going to get into that roller coaster ride that she's not expecting. My education started, when I talk about my education, my actual education of becoming an entrepreneur started at the age of 14. My parents had a very small business in Hong Kong. My education, I learned how to bargain. I learned the art of textiles there. And I learned the art of making sales and the hustle. That's helping me today becoming who I really am as an entrepreneur. Well, like most other kids, most other entrepreneurs, I would say. At the age of 17, I left my college and got into a full-time sales job. And very soon I realized I was actually, good at doing sales. At the age of 17, I was making 8 lakhs a month. Good enough for a 17-year-old kid. But when I actually thought about what I was getting into, my entire life changed. The company I was working with wanted to expand into the Indian market, and I came with them. I fought with my parents. The company came here. Things didn't work out. The company decided to go back. I started to stay here. Went into a very crazy accident, but found my company at the age of 19. I started my first B2B venture at the age of 19. Today, my story is not about how I became an entrepreneur. My story is about when I became an entrepreneur. In 2014, my B2B venture was doing fantastically well, cash flow positive, making lots of money, doing high scalability things. But I wanted to touch a consumer directly. I wanted to see how consumer behaves with the product. So one fine day, I was reading this news article that said, Indian wedding industry, $1 billion industry. That $1 billion stuck to my mind. I wanted a piece of it. So I started figuring out what can I do to be a part of that $1 billion industry. I collaborate with the Hong Kong-based fashion designer. We created these beautiful gowns, expensive gowns, got them to the Indian market. In the first 2 months, I only made 7,000 rupees of sales. Guys, that was my first failure. I was standing there with a complete failure plan, a complete failure product, with 50 lakh worth of inventory lying at my warehouse, and my entire team looking at me, what do we do next? That was my first failure. And that happens to a lot of entrepreneurs there, that without any deep research, without even understanding, we jump right into a lot of ideas. We waste sometimes our money, sometimes we waste others' monies also. But most important thing, we waste time. Bill Gross is this one guy that I really follow. And he talks about the number one factor that makes or breaks an organization is launching on time. 42% of it accounts on time. My idea was way ahead of his time, way ahead. It didn't work out. But sooner I completed that failure into an MVP product. I got my Master G, I told my Master G, give me 100 dresses in 15 days. I connected my website because I anyways invested everything on my website, on the manpower and everything. I connected Magento platform to my website, created into a complete e-commerce site in 15 days. And without holding zero inventory, we launched our site. And soon enough, we started gaining orders. Of course, through digital media, we started gaining a lot of orders. And whatever order we used to get, we used to make the product and ship it out. And that's how our research started. We started building an MVP product, a minimum viable product. Now, having said that, failures are anyways going to be there. So don't think there is any remedy कि मैं बिना failure के कुछ भी कर सकता हूँ. Sorry. All entrepreneurs have failed. We all learn to embrace it. Some learn pretty soon in their life. Some learn a very later stage in their life. But we must embrace our failures. But creating MVP product will shorten that failure rate for us. Think about your idea. Think about what you're creating at the moment. Go out to a couple of customers, go out to people in the market, go to your friends, talk about your idea. A lot of times entrepreneurs have this attitude of not sharing an idea. It's so close to my heart, I don't want people to steal it from me. As I said earlier, an idea is not the main thing. How you execute it, what time you're launching it at, and the team that you have will impact your success rate. Keep evolving, keep pivoting. Pivot your way to success. All the massive organizations in the world, be it YouTube, be it Godrej, be it Paytm, back home, Paytm, yes, one big example. All these guys have pivoted their way to success. By creating a minimum viable product, by pivoting, they have scaled their way to success. So that's what my learning is. Today, Vizor, the organization that I'm running, all of that, what we have, we are into retail, we are into e-commerce. We have started our operations internationally. With that one mistake, MVP, pivoting, we are standing at a situation where we are not just into fashion, we are into lifestyle, we are getting into experiences. We are just pivoting our way to success and growth. Now, second most important factor that I personally, and that's really closer to my heart, and a lot of times entrepreneurs really neglect that. We get into this entire loophole of just working too hard. An average entrepreneur spends between 14 to 18 hours a day working on the plan, product, or the strategy. Constantly thinking, meeting people, thinking about ideas, finding funding. That's the average life of an entrepreneur. I didn't know that. I thought a businessman or a businesswoman life is because at the age of 11 you think about अच्छा कैसे काम करते होंगे, right? Media showed us this crisp looking gentleman, not gentlewoman by the way, very real gentlewoman. A gentleman getting out of this swanky car, wearing this really nice suit, getting into a fancy ass office and making a lot of money just by telling people what to do. That was my concept of what a businesswoman or a businessman do. But an average entrepreneur struggles, works hard, like more than any other person in the market. And within that entire loophole, we just get lost. We forget to educate ourselves. We forget to step back for a moment and introspect. Education is not just about introspecting. We need to introspect in order to get our thoughts together and then plan more further. In my case, none of my organizations are funded. All my organizations have bootstrapped. It's all my money that I've put back into my business. There is no massive banking of my parents or anything into this. So I had to learn it the hard way, where I get into the zone. If I need to talk to a person who's been a veteran in the industry for 30 years, how do I make sure my voice is heard? When e-commerce was doing fantastically well, we wanted to get into retail. People are asking us questions. Why a new gen brand? Why should we give you prime property in our mall? Why should we give you that prime space in our mall? Who are you? And a lot of people genuinely asked that question to us. At that point of time, I could only talk about facts and figure that why I can make that mall more money. Why my brand is worth getting into that mall. And that only happened because I researched about the person. I researched about their numbers. I researched about the industry numbers. I went prepared, telling them what I wanted, what they wanted. So you have to keep sharpening your knife, guys. Goes without saying. Introspect, sharpen your knife. A brain capacity, guys, is not like a shoe size. A shoe size is actually fixed. A brain capacity is not. You can keep expanding it, keep learning about ideas, and then beautifully implementing them into business that you do. So that's what my second learning is. Coming to the third perspective, and one of the most important perspective that I feel is bending your reality. One has to bend their reality. Now, what is bending reality, by the way? Your reality doesn't have to match your dreams. Instead, you bend your reality by strategy and by will to achieve what you desire. Now, a lot of people sitting in a smaller town of India saying, hey, मैं ये कैसे करूँगा? या मैं कैसे करूँगी? Think about where you're standing at today. Think about your reality right now. And think about where you want to be. Do you have a plan? Do you have the will? A lot of people have the will. A lot of people have the passion. Everybody is really passionate. But let me tell you one thing, guys, here. Passion will help you kickstart, but process will help you scale. So you need that sort of the attitude to say, hey, I have enough passion. I'll bring process into the picture and bring my idea to life. Bend your reality. Have a strategy in place. Keep the will in place. One can achieve whatever they want to. For me, I bent my reality. I belong to a Halwai family, guys. A person who belonged to a Halwai family doing a fashion business today of a multi-crore business. I bent my reality because I didn't want it to be there. I still am bending my reality because today I'm not where I am today. It's not enough. I want to grow. I want to evolve. I want to evolve as an entrepreneur. I want to evolve as a human. I'm bending my reality. So the fourth most important learning that I also had was when I was scaling up, evolving as an entrepreneur. I wanted to educate myself, so I went out there in the market. I started attending all these seminars or these talks that were happening in the town. And I would sit in the audience and look at the speakers talking about AI. They were talking about building gene editing technology, CRISPR. And I was sitting in the audience thinking, what impact am I making? These guys are out there changing the world. I'm creating consumer products that are just reaching out to consumers. I felt into this trap of saying, hey, what am I doing? Is it making enough impact? Over the course of time, I started realizing, and I started talking to a lot of people about this, that how can you create an impact in whatever you do? And someone gave me an example. One of our tribe member, in fact, our tribe members are very close to our heart. We don't call them our customers. They're our tribe members. They're building a brand. One of the women said, Natasha, you constantly talk about, being closer to animals. You guys don't use any leather. You guys always talk about eco-conscious lifestyle. You are already making an impact of a person who doesn't understand that there is a world out there that is constantly changing. You are converting a lot of people into eco-conscious human beings. No, the brand does that. You guys are doing it. So somewhere I started realizing, I started emphasizing on that entire thing. That being in whatever place you are or you are at, you can find that one point of impact that you're making. Continue doing that. Continue creating that impact, be it smaller or larger. Doesn't matter. Not every idea will change the world. Let's be honest. Even if your idea, even if anything that you do impacts one life, that's more than enough. And that's what I learned out of my fourth thing. Think about the impact in whatever you're doing. So get up, bend your reality, have a strategy in place, go out there and achieve what you want to achieve in your life, guys. Thank you so much.
Tell us what you think about this video and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.